All right. Well, hello, everybody.
What's up, people?
Just want to say welcome. It is your favorite Power Team podcast, and we are definitely in the building. You already know how we do. So, if this is your first time rocking with us, we just want to say welcome and thank you so much for stopping by and rocking with us because we already know that you could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to be right here with us. So, for those of you guys that don't know who we are, we would like to go ahead and formally introduce ourselves. I go by the name of Kesha Cash.
And this your boy, Dr. Real, Mr. Motivational. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Get this conversation started. Hype tonight. I missed y'all last week.
Yes, I know. So you know how we do, we all have other things that we have going and we still keep everything moving on the platform because of course we have other shows as well. But we love rocking with y'all on Wednesday nights, and it's always a pleasure to be in the building with each and every one of you. Um
Absolutely.
I know you guys have been used to the guests that we've been having on the show with us because we've been doing this thing called Single and Ready to Mingle. I honestly encourage you guys to sign up, to hit me up, hit Dr. Real up because we're gonna have some things baking, and that is not the end. We're gonna have people coming on. We have Malcolm J coming on actually next week. He's going to be the first guy that came on from Single and Ready to Mingle. So I'm excited about that because we were talking about that last time. We were like, the women are always so vocal to talk about, how we feel about things and how things are going, but you never really get to hear from the fellas. So I'm excited about Malcolm J coming on and expressing himself. And ladies, so tune in because he is single and he is ready to mingle. So y'all make sure y'all catch us next week. But that's all the good stuff. So we'll continue to share with information about single and ready to mingle. But we got a couple of hot topics and current events that we want to talk about tonight. So we're going to get into a couple of those before we get into our regular topics. But one of the things that was breaking the internet a couple days ago, I was like, you know what? We're going to have to touch back on this because when I say that sister, when she read Wendy Williams, I was just like, damn. Now, if I gave the business had a face, she definitely would have been that face. She read Wendy. It was so funny. So, you guys, we're talking about Tabitha Brown. And Tabitha Brown, what happened was she actually didn't even know she was on Wendy Williams. When you're on Wendy, she's doing these hot topics and stuff, and she's just really finding who it is that she wants to talk about, really putting their business out there. And you look up and you're like, damn, I'm on Wendy Williams. So somebody hit her up and they was like, girl, you on Wendy. And when she saw the show, Wendy was really just bad mouthing her about making this decision to retire her husband. She was saying pretty much that she wanted to retire him. And the way she broke it down and the way that she read Wendy was phenomenal. She should have got a I don't know, standing ovation for this because the way she did it was just the right way to do it. She let Wendy know that her and her husband had an agreement. And, Wendy may not have understood what that looked like based on her own marriage. And she was in a position to allow her husband to retire. And that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to get him out of the line of work that he was doing and show her appreciation for being there and being supportive of all the things that she had going. So I admire the fact that she actually, for one, wasn't ashamed to do that because nobody understands what you have going on in your relationship in your household, and the fact that she was even blessed enough to do it. So, right. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Dr. Real? How do you feel about what took place?
It just goes to show you, first of all, that you don't have to come in people with the rolling neck and rolling eyes and being all demonstrative and being all being ugly with a rebuttal. First of all, she did it very, very classy. Uh, she wasn't very animated. She wasn't doing it with anger. She was basically telling her in a nice way to mind your damn business and worry
Yeah.
about your own thing instead of worry about mine. Now, Wendy, I feel, was coming from a place, like I've said on our show a million times, she was still holding hands to the past because she was coming from a place of hurt in her response because she did the same thing for her husband. Her husband didn't do it the right way when she gave him that opportunity. So
Yep.
you can't compare just because what you did didn't work. You don't have to throw shade on somebody else doing the same thing because Tabitha and her husband had this agreement in the beginning, and it's supposed to
Right.
be in 5 years, but things don't always work the way we plan them, and it took 15.
Right.
But that was the plan from the jump. Just your husband took that opportunity to be a hot boy summer for a long time and being a male thought. That's not everybody.
Exactly.
So I like the way she did it. I think she really came from a place of love when she was telling her, like, you need to learn how to love yourself. Basically telling her, she was giving her some good advice, but at the same time, telling her to tone down a bit. I think Wendy is on the cancellation list for numerous things. One, she just got finished talking about this young TikToker that was murdered. The way she described him was despicable because I seen that clip and I was like, wow.
Right.
So you worry about his views, you worry about his viewership versus the fact this young man lost his life. Like, what is your deal?
Right.
Like, yeah, I think that kind of journalism, and I even say that very loosely, but that kind of shock value is going away. People tired of hearing trash and other people just you get ratings. So bravo to Tabitha. And she sold out her season in 39 minutes. You go, girl.
Yeah, she did. She
You
really
go.
did. I saw that. But no, I definitely agree with you, Dr. Real, because I even had when I shared the video and I posted, my thoughts on it, I even had to share with some of the other people. I'm like, Wendy actually went off into a place where I did not know what the hell she was talking about. She went off into a place where she was like, I had one of those. And then they come back and they tell you that it's all your fault. They do other things with the money. You don't know what happened with the money. Then they need more money. I'm like, who the hell is they? Like, I didn't know what she was talking about. I didn't know who she was talking about. But it's like you said, she went to a whole nother place based on her relationship, which her husband now has a child with someone else, and that person that he had a child with, they're still together. They're in an actual relationship. And I really feel like Wendy is hurting from that situation, and she actually needs counseling. It's just like one of those things where even if you have a life coach or if you have a counselor, that person is always investing into their career by showing and counseling other people. But who's helping them? Wendy definitely needs some help. It showed 100% when she gave her comment about Miss Tabitha. Tabitha is living her best life. I've seen family pictures. I've seen all the different stuff.
And she's doing it big.
She's doing it big, and she's genuinely happy. And Wendy just needs to find that happy place. And I feel bad for her because she has this platform and she has this voice, and she can do so many different things with it and be positive with it, but she chooses to try to tear people down, and that just wasn't her lane. And Miss Tabitha read her, and I really appreciate Tabitha.
That's just a jaded perspective coming from Wendy. That's a jaded perspective. That's no different to talking to somebody about, hey, you've been married for 20 years. Give me some good outtakes of it. And if it's not been a good 20 years for you, you're going to give a jaded perspective to somebody. You're not going to give a truly, honest perspective if it's coming from a place of hurt.
Right.
You're going to tell them all the negatives. You're not going to give them any positive about it. You're going to give them all the negative aspects of why you shouldn't get married versus giving them a dose of both, because there are negative and positive sides to it, of course. But you would give, especially if you're in the ugly part of it, about maybe separated, about getting divorced. You're not gonna come from a place of positivity. You're gonna be coming from a place of a jaded perspective, and that's where Wendy is coming from, the jaded perspective.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I mean I really appreciate you guys giving your feedback on that. And also drop some comments. I mean, how did you feel about it? Because I got a lot of comments when I posted that because all the ladies was rocking with the way that Tabitha stayed ladylike. She didn't jump out of her lane to read Wendy. She was real, she was respectful the way she did it. And sometimes we have to take that same approach, even when it's dealing with people that are involved in our life. Whether it's your family member, whether it's your friend, whether it's somebody that you work with, you have to sometimes read people. And if reading people needs to go down the same way that Tabitha did it, let's do that. Because sometimes you just gotta let people know what it is that needs to be known.
She wasn't
Straight up.
all boo boo and you know what I'm saying? She went all extra with it, and that's what
None of
made
that.
receive the message even more because she wasn't doing all the extras. She didn't
She
need
said,
all that to get her point
and,
across.
and in her same sentence, she told her that she's going to pray for her, and I really believe her. I believe her. Here you threw this lady through the mud, and this lady still told you that I'm going to pray for you because she
Mm-hmm.
understands she's hurt, and she is. Wendy, she's definitely hurt. But good stuff, y'all. So again, drop your comments. How do you feel about the situation that went down when Wendy called herself putting all Tabitha Brown's business out there in those streets and Tabitha had to read her? Let me know how y'all felt about that.
She gave her
But
the business.
exactly. But moving on to other things that we want to discuss. Oh, we want to discuss, hey, check your bank accounts, people. If you chose not to opt out, and you know what I'm saying? Like they just what they're off the chain with the money that they're just sprinkling around. But anywho, if you are eligible and if you actually did not opt out of the option to get half of your earned income credit up front, well, there's a little surprise waiting in your bank account. If you have all of your information on file, it's pending right now. So go ahead and check your pending status of your bank account. And the money that was promised by Joe Biden is there. Yeah. So check your money, y'all. The money is
Your
there.
your your big line is going to read something like IRS, CTC if it's a child tax credit. If you're getting money for your unemployment that you received last year, it's going to read something like IRS 310, and that's
Yeah.
your this child tax credit will be even dollar amount. Your unemployment tax credit will be more of a $300.50. And the
Right.
good thing about it is they're paying you interest on that. So I've seen people post they got $2,000. I've seen a man say he got 6,000 from his unemployment tax credit. So don't knock it, take it. As far as this child tax credit, a lot of people saying I ain't opted out because I don't want to get less next year. Just read more into that. It's your money, and again, everybody's situation is different. You may not need to get that $500 every month till December, but somebody else, that money coming right on time for school shopping,
Right.
or
And
you know what I'm saying, or whatever else you got going on. So I'm gonna tell you this before y'all
absolutely.
even get started. Don't go on social media and start trashing folks for taking that money because you don't
Yeah.
know their situation and they don't know yours.
Everybody's situation is different. I'm glad you're touching on that, Dr. Real, because we were talking about that the other day as well. And just to give you all just a brief description, because I researched it and I read up on it, there are, it depends on your situation because the thing about it is most people usually have something big that they're looking forward to purchasing, when tax season comes. So if you are one of those people and you're saying, I need that full 3,600, as soon as tax season hit, because that is how your financial situation is set up, then yeah, you might want to opt out of it because they've already had the schedule set up for the rest of the year. Now, in addition to that, it doesn't penalize you in any way, but the difference is versus you showing you are getting a 30, what is it, 3,000 or 3,600? It's because they're doing
3,600.
3,600. So versus you showing you're getting a $3,600 credit, Well, when the time tax season comes, it's only going to show a $1,800 credit. So if you're used to making big purchases and there's something that you already have planned, that will really be the only reason that you may want to opt out of it. But I don't really think it's a harmful thing. Me
No,
personally, I want my money now because I don't know if next year's promised to me. To be honest with
right.
you, I
And,
just
and
don't.
here's a
You know.
suggestion: you don't have to blow. If you have two kids, you get two 50 apiece. You
Hmm.
don't have to sit there and blow that money going into next year. You could actually spend half, just as a suggestion, and save the rest. You can negotiate that money a million different ways and not have to spend it all unless you have to. Don't get me wrong, you have to do what you got to do. But if you don't have to do that, you can have that money going to January, already have it, versus going to January waiting for February or March to come to get your windfall. There's other
Absolutely,
ways to work it.
absolutely. So just wanted to throw that out there because honestly, I didn't even recognize that it was there. And two, I don't know when they put it there because I know tomorrow is the 15th, but yeah, it was showing pending around 3 or 4 o'clock today, and I was like, oh, okay. Let me see what Sia's saying here. It says, I was just telling one of my best friends the same thing. Yeah, Sia, it is. A lot of people are afraid, and I can understand it because there's so much going on this year where they're just giving out money. And I think what you need to do is people need to really figure out what is going to work for them. Because another thing that I read when I researched this was they're trying to make this permanently. They're trying to give us the option to say, because like Dr. Real said, it is our money and we have the option to do and choose what we want to do with it. This stuff it's really been optional for a long time. It's just the fact that Joe Biden he's opening up doors and revealing stuff that we just really haven't had a set of eyes on. But
Right.
they're trying to make this thing permanent to where every year you don't have to wait until the beginning of the year to get your credit. You can choose and do this half of the year, just like we're doing this year, and then get the rest the beginning of next year. But it'll be totally up to you. So that is something they're trying to make permanently. So if I would try to see um, what works best. This is the first time it's happening, but I really do believe they're going to push the button to make it permanent every year because
Yes.
I think it's
Because
I think it's
go ahead,
necessary.
sorry. the,
Yeah.
the goal of it from their intention is to try to remove more kids out of poverty. That's
Yeah.
what that intention is. So that can make a single mom that's working two jobs and she's working minimum wage and she's really only making $500 a month in that side job. She don't have to do that no more. She can
Exactly.
spend that time at home, saying, making that family bond. This is we have to stop looking at everything. My great grandma always told me, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, you ride that mother sucker.
Yeah.
So we have to stop criticizing every move and stop trying to think everything is a conspiracy theory. Not saying a lot of things not, but we gotta stop looking at everything as we're looking for the other shoe to drop all the time. It's like we're conditioned that way.
Absolutely.
Think something's gonna happen every time something positive happens. We're waiting in fear, thinking, okay, well they do this for a reason. It's just a setup. Why? It's your how they setting you up with your money. They gave you an option to say no. If they were
You
trying to do
know,
something, you wouldn't have had an option to say no.
to be honest with you, Dr. Reed, you know what? It's kind of like a person that has been trapped forever, or a person that's been in prison forever, and they're finally free, and they're free to do whatever it is that they're wanting to do, and they're afraid to do it because they've never had the privilege to do it.
Mm-hmm.
These things that we are being allowed is ours. It's really already ours. We just didn't have the leniency of what we have right now to gain access to it. And I could see it's like a thought of slavery, to be honest with you. It's kind of like, I know it's mine, but is it really mine? You got to double guess and second guess everything, and it's crazy. But no, it's something that it's our money. Um, so it's just we're having access to stuff that's really been around for a long period of time.
Like
But
take it.
there's probably more to come. There's probably more to come. I even heard them talking about another, a fourth, a stimulus or something. I mean, I don't know where they're getting all this stuff from, but obviously, it's been there, and I'm just proud to even be knowledgeable of it because it's
I
mind
mean,
blowing to me.
I personally feel we're not going to get another a stimulus check from the federal government, but there are 5 states that currently are giving stimulus checks to their citizens of the state. There's 5 right now that are giving them. I know Maryland just did it in February. They gave their constituents like $600 just from
Hmm.
the state. Um,
I think I saw that.
one tidbit that also I've seen. I hope this story was true. That there's been so many lawsuits about that $300 pandemic extra amount they were giving
It's true.
to people that they're making it to where now you're gonna be able to get it back again. Because in my opinion, it should never be removed in the first place. It wasn't coming out of state coffers. It was coming. This was given to the states by the government, by the federal government for a reason. Um, and yeah, there are 93 million open jobs.
Yeah.
But how many millions of people are going for those 93 million jobs? Because a lot of people have not been called back to work, or they've been out of work so long from the job they're in, they realize the job they're in didn't appreciate them, and they don't want to go back there. And then out of these 93 million jobs that are open, how many jobs are minimum wage jobs? Like, you got to read deeper into things and stop just going into the judgment that they're feeding you, saying that these people don't want to work. That's not the case. I just think people have gotten time. Uh, Being alone for a year, they had a lot of time to think and observe and evaluate this situation. It's like, okay, these people been pimping me for a long time because a lot of jobs love the thing that used to make me so mad. They're always talking about we're a family. Okay, but most families are dysfunctional some kind of way. So you standing on the point that the culture is a family, that's not really making me warm and fuzzy and want to be here just because we family. I love to say that. We're a family. The jobs I've been in that say we're a family have been the most, and this is a word I can't stand, is been in one of the most toxic cultures I've been in because we were a family. Like, come on, man, miss me that. And there's some people that take that family culture in the corporate world and it actually makes some kind of sense. Not many, but there are a few who do it right. Like I watched how they celebrated your anniversary. That's great when you have the kind of camaraderie with your people you work with, and they actually foster that. But we've been home for a year and a half almost. Maybe I don't want to go to the break room and celebrate Mary's birthday because they ain't
Yeah.
did that in a year and a half. I don't want to do that no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just take the money, people. Take
Yeah.
the money. I'm not one of these people that are gonna sit and tell you invest your money and all that stuff, or try to shame you doing stuff. You take that money and do what you need to do that makes sense for you and yours, whatever that may be. But anything, just make it work for you. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Make it work for you. I'm gonna say this: don't sink it in no Louis Vuitton purse. That's gonna might make you happy temporarily, but you're making the Louis Vuitton company that much more richer. I would say that if you want to do that, make your own. You know what I'm saying? Just do something positive with your money that make it work for you. You know,
Absolutely.
don't go out there and just blow it. Make it work for you. I would say that.
Absolutely. But no, what you touched on, Dr. Real, is really true. I researched it as well when it came to these people that have all these different lawsuits. Um, and you know what it is it was the first states, because this thing went in different waves. Everybody didn't opt out from the beginning. There were just certain states that chose to opt out. They're like, we're gonna force this thing and get people back to work and everything. But I don't think people took out the time to research this and think it through. And when I continue to read about it, I'm not gonna say unfortunately, but the people were right. Their fight and their the thing that they were talking about was, how dare you take our rights away from us during a pandemic time where the government is honoring everyone else a benefit of getting this extra, pandemic money due to the economic times we're going through, and you say to us in these different states, no, we can't have it, because again, everybody has not deemed this as a go in every state. So that means that the government is still giving this money away. So you're denying certain people in certain states to no longer have it, was a no go for them. When you said you think that people had time to sit back and realize and you know think about the things that we normally don't think about, I honestly feel that people had the time to sit back and get in touch with some of their friends that are called Republicans, that are no longer in some of those seats that they were in, and they're very smart and educated on what are the rules and what should be taking place. And they educated their people to say, y'all still can get that money, right? And they whispered a little something in their ear, and everybody teamed up and went to work. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's what I think. Because sometimes, and not to throw, this is not race or anything. Sometimes when we see people acting a fool, when we see people fighting for certain things, we automatically assume what the culture is. And that is not always the case. When we see people getting handouts, when we picture a lot of people getting benefits and a lot of things, it's not always who we assume that it is based on the word being poor or not fortunate. It's really
Right.
the other people. And we have to understand that, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot going on. I don't really even like looking at the news. Like, me and my cousins, my family, like, we're in a group message, and we talk about this stuff every morning. And we all are challenged. They're like, where are you reading it? Where are you getting this stuff from? And it's like, we have to be up on the up and up of what's going on. No matter if we are depressed because it's going to be something sad or something bad or negative, you got to be paying attention to what's going on around here. And that's how I know. I mean, I'm reading and I'm researching it because I want to know what's going on, because unfortunately I don't have a choice but to know, because I'm involved, I'm in it. So I got to know what my options are as well. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, guys, if you all are listening to what we're saying, it is true. I think they are going to lift whatever that was, how they were trying to shut everything down, because they are going to court in a lot of different places, and everybody is jumping on that wave because they've seen it work in these other states' favor. So they're like, well, hell, if they can do it, it's our time now. Just like the
Yeah.
way it went when they start cutting states off state by state. So that's what's going on out here in these streets.
See, that's what annoys me about people, especially people that are in a position of leadership. Keywords leadership. Just because Montana decided to do it for their population in their Republican ran state doesn't mean Texas had to say, okay, well, if they're doing it, I'm gonna do it too. How about you look at your state, look at your unemployment numbers. You got all these people in your staff that can crunch these numbers for you. You can make numbers say a lot of different things. You want to make it say one thing, make it say the other. But look at your constituents. It's like, you know what? Do I really want to do it to these people? Because no matter what's going on, somebody's going to always take advantage of a situation. Period. But the politicians do it all the time. So people are gonna take advantage. You're never gonna shut that out. So if your mindset was, well, I don't want to give this $300 out no more because people just staying at home and chilling. You're right. There are some people who are staying at home and chilling.
Yeah.
Not even going to negate that. That's true. Yet there are some people who are in front of the computer every day applying for jobs, getting that thank you email saying thank you for applying, but we have moved on our hiring process and we ain't pick you. You know what I mean? So I just it bothers me when why can't you step up and not be like the other states? You could say, you know what? And the biggest thing, Kesha, that tricks me out, this is not even coming from the state. This ain't even money you got to worry about accounting for. This is a gift from Big Brother to you.
Facts.
For your people that you ain't got to pay back. Well, we're gonna pay it back in some kind of way. Of course, we're gonna pay it back, but at the same time, it's a good faith effort it was going to end in September anyway. So it wasn't like this was an infinite, an infinite thing's going to last forever. It was going to end in September anyway. So
Yes.
why even mess with it? Let it go out in September. It is what it is.
Right. And I think it's because of it's a lot. It's so much, Dr. Real, so much that goes on with it. And that brings me into one more point of what I want to talk about really quick in our current events is employees going back into the workplace.
Mm.
People we've gotten to the point to where we've been able to research a lot of stuff, right? We've been able to tap into our superpower, so to speak, right? We've been able to actually, as some organizations and some companies, been able to function as if we were still in the workplace, providing the numbers, retaining the customers, doing the things that needed to be done. And you got some people, they ain't trying to go back into the office, and they're not trying to cooperate as easily as we used to back in the day because we need a job or we need to provide. It's on a whole nother level. And it's just one of those things where people so another thing I was reading that popped up, they were talking about get prepared. If you're in corporate America, get prepared to face the worst challenges of your life when it comes to turnover, when it comes to getting the employees to come back into the office. You are going to face a challenge because they're not coming. They're going to fight it. They're going to actually exercise their rights to tell you why they should not come. There's going to be a lot of things to come with it. And I was like, damn. I'm in leadership. I'm like in corporate America, but I see the difference. And I was even talking to my daughter, and my daughter's been promoted. Kudos to Nana, y'all. But my daughter's been promoted twice at Six Flags. She works at Six Flags. And she actually was like, Mama, they don't want to come to work. I'm like, really? In Kitty Land? Like they operate in the rides that they don't. She's like, no, I'm the person now that have to get the people to come to work. She's like, they don't want to come to work. I'm like, the kids? And she's like, yeah, they don't want to come to work. But people have just learned on a different level. And when I was reading all that information in reference of getting the employees to come back to work, I've actually talked to some. I'm still not working I still work from home, but I've talked to some people that have to go back into the building, whether it's a split shift or whether it's a full shift. And they have they're saying they're afraid. They're like, it's a different feeling. It's a different environment. You're really it's uncomfortable, And I'm like, I don't see it happening full 100% like it was over the previous years of getting employees to go back into the office. I don't know how it's going to work. Well, like, what's your thoughts on that, Dr. Real?
I mean, for most jobs, unless you're in manufacturing or something, you got to put hands on something. This whole computer age basically is set up for people to work from home anyway, if you really look at it. I mean, all you need for the most part is a computer, a working camera on your computer, and an access to where you can talk on the phone to your computer, and you golden. Call center. That's all you need. If you're selling a product that's over the phone, if you're someone who's answering, you're the complaint police, and then your job is to answer customer complaints. You can do that from in front of your computer. You can do that in your pajamas and in a relaxed environment. These people have been home for a year and a half. They've been saving on gas, car maintenance. They're saving money from not eating out for lunch because they can eat at home. So there's so much advantages to not having to go into the office. You don't have to deal with other people. You don't have to deal with the messy office person is always one or two. You don't have to deal with all the office politics. There's so much you can do. You don't have to have that you can have micromanaging managers anyway, no matter what capacity you do it, but you're not having to sit there and listen to all that. You can have a Zoom meeting and be done with it. Quick, boom, out of here. So I applaud it. I really feel like that's where we should be going towards that Jetson mindset of utilizing. We have all this information, all this powerful internet and computers. Why not use that to your advantage?
Right.
You know, people can be at home, they ain't gonna kill you. You can still monitor whether they're on the clock or not. You can still monitor if they're doing the job that you're paying them to do too. If Walmart can have damn near a whole store full of self damn checkout registers, why I can't stay my ass at home and do my job? You know what I'm saying? I just don't. It doesn't make it make sense. Just make it make sense.
Yeah. Like I said, it's I don't know. I don't really know how things are going to end out in the end. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I could just say that this is a totally different world than what it was a couple of years ago. So we got to adapt. We got to stay up on our toes and figure out, what works best for us. But at the same time, we got to get with the program. I even actually feel bad. I mean, think about the people, Dr. Real, that's not even into like the whole social media or electronic devices or that generation. Like you gotta go with the flow now. You can't be stuck in your ways and depending on things that's no longer here and it's going to be obsolete. You got to really go with the program to stay a part of the world that we're in right now. So
exactly the way we were trained up to work jobs from our parents and their parents, from the greatest generation to the baby boomers, even to Gen X. The way we've been trained for jobs, it's different now. Even resumes have changed. The way you write your resume now is not the way you wrote it even 2 years ago. And there's a difference there. You just have to accept that even with the negative things that came out of COVID, a lot of positive things came out of COVID too. People say, you know what? Instead of working for Jane and Jane, I'm gonna figure out a streaming revenue for myself where it's less stress on my body, and I can make more money doing this than going to work for this company because they can cut me off at any time for any reason.
Right.
I just see it said the best. Daycare ain't no joke. I'm glad I don't have to pay that money like that no more. But daycare ain't no joke. And then now you got to get a job that fits into daycare time.
Right.
Because both daycare is closed at 6. You know what I mean? So I think it's a good thing. Like I said, technology is changing the world, and I don't understand why we can't embrace it. Things are changing, and you're either going to change with it, or you're going to be left behind.
I agree. I definitely agree. Good stuff, y'all. Thank y'all so much for even chiming into those topics. We like to keep you all updated on the current events. Myself and Dr. Real, we stay updated on the current events, and we like to just we love to just engage with you guys and get your thoughts when it comes to that, because the thing about it is that sometimes you have those people that are afraid to click that button and see what's going on with the nose. So if we could be of any kind of help or assistance to even ease your mind and just get you up to date by tuning in with us, by all means, we're more than happy to do that. So continue to keep rocking with us, and we truly appreciate that. I want to get into your topic, Dr. Real. I want to talk about the subject of why did I get married?
All right. So I know everybody's seen the Tyler Perry movie about Why Did I Get Married, right? I'm sure everybody's watched that movie. And they got an idea of what marriage may look like they kind of gave a scenario for almost every kind of marriage you can actually obviously be in. But I want to talk about not just myself, but I'm going to use myself as a point of conversation of why I got married. 3 reasons: companionship, passion, and purpose. For me, it was never on a religious thing. If you were raised by older people, grandma was going to tell you, why buy the whole cow if you can get the milk for free if you were shacking up with somebody. That was like a theme of conversation, especially in Black communities. Keep it 100. You tell grandma you live with boyfriend, she ain't having that. She gonna look at you kind of sideways because you was proverbially living in sin.
Yes.
Let that be said. He's living in sin. It ain't never gonna work. What he gonna marry you for? He getting all the benefits of a married woman without blah 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 blah. We've all heard it, but you're married. Just let's look at it this way: you're married. Essentially, you're gonna have two incomes coming in. So number one, you got more income, right? Everything is like we talked about earlier. Whether you like it or not, everything is kind of split in half. You can live a little bit better because you got money coming in. Now that also can be a deterrent from getting married if you don't know how to handle finances correctly. You know, and I say that this way: if you have a spender and a saver, that relationship is going to have a lot of conflict if they don't come to some kind of compromise and understand that everything that you do affects me and vice versa. Because as I've said many times, marriage is the ultimate business venture. Like you could sink somebody's whole life if you don't handle your business correctly. Because when you list the credit and y'all divorce, now you got bills splitting, and most people are in bad credit from divorce. And the credit is ruined because one person was financially irresponsible and the other one was or wasn't. You have better health care, better health insurance when you're married. People talk about buying houses. You have that equity to buy a house and you married. Now you can do these same things single, but what is life to me? And this is just my viewpoint on it. That's why I have the group Hopeless Romantic in the first place, because I'm a hopeless romantic. I think love will always win in the end. That's just my philosophy on it. Even if it's not with your current situation, in the end of the day, you should never, ever, ever give up on love. And I think marriage is that ultimate goal of unselflessness in a world that is selfish, in a world that has taken and made marriage almost a joke or not even important. Well, it ain't nothing but a piece of paper. True, you're right. It is a legal binding contract between you and another person, but you have to look at it way more deeper than that. Mm-hmm. Marriage is something is like planting a seed, and if both of y'all are doing the right things to make your garden grow, you're gonna be able to eat forever. But if one of y'all complain that you're doing all the digging while you're just doing the watering, then you're gonna poison that plant. It's never gonna grow. So it's the same thing as marriage. Marriage is not bad. I understand you can live with other people now. Shacking up is not even an issue. People don't look at it no more like they used to 20 years ago. They don't care about that. Having babies out of wedlock, that conversation should have been gone back in grandma's day because they was doing babies out of wedlock there too. You know, if your granddaddy had that old long Eldorado, you probably got 18 and 25 cousins in the same city. But you probably got 3 or 4 families. That's how it used to be back in the day. Just you know, a whole book. That's how it used to be back in the day. But we gotta start looking at marriage in that negative connotation. Like for a lot of men, look at it as if, oh man, I'm gonna lose my my domination. I'm gonna lose myself because I'm getting married. Because you see all the happy wife, happy life slogans and stuff. That's bullcorn. Happy spouse, happy house. That means both. Because you can't, if she not building me up and I'm only building her up, resentment is going to set in eventually because you're not pouring into me, but I'm pouring into you.
Yeah. So
your marriage is like a dance. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the lead might change, but both y'all on beating in rhythm, the dance gonna look spectacular. So yeah, I grew up like I'm gonna tell you right now, Kesha, when I was a kid, you could not tell me right now I've been married. I seen so much negative marriages around me. I didn't want to get married.
Right.
And I was like, oh no, man. I mean, cheating. And I'm like, man, I can sit here and sleep. My mindset, I can have a different girlfriend every day if I want to. But as I grew up, that ain't how that. That's more exhausting than being with one woman is trying to be with 12.
Right.
Way more expensive, and you stretch yourself too thin, and then you're also losing the respect for love and commitment when you're out here just doing it that way. To me, I got bored. I got tired of that. I got tired of, what's your favorite color? Green? Oh, girl, mine too. What's your favorite? Like, I mean, I got tired of doing those job interviews and instead of having a career, I was working jobs. That's why I look at women. I'm just dating. I'm working jobs. I don't have a career. I'm not changing jobs every time that I got unhappy with this employee I'm with. I got tired of that. So when
Yeah.
I met my now current wife, I was like, you know what? And I had been married previous to her, and my marriage ended on cheating on the wife's part. So I was jaded as hell when it came to marriage after that. I'm like, this is the reason I didn't want to get married in the first place. You know what I'm saying? This is what I saw growing up as a kid. I was like, damn, I ain't want to be in this crap. But then I had to look at myself and like, do I want to live the rest of my life? Just like I said, what's your favorite color? Ooh, you like that too? Yeah, me too. Ooh, okay, I think we can kick it. I got tired of that lifestyle because it was fun for a while, but it cheapened love for me. So when I met her and I figured that that's who I wanted, I knew from early on that's who I wanted to be with. You know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give this marriage thing another try, but try to be a better person than I was the last time. You know what I'm saying? Now I will say this, and I hope people don't take this as a contradiction. Now, if me and her end up divorcing, I'm probably not gonna want to do it again because it may not be for me. Because marriage is not for everybody. I'm gonna just keep it people a buck. It is not for everybody. Even all the great benefits from it, men, we live longer married. I know that might people. I know men like, what? Man, you true. We actually live longer when we're married because we make less stupid ass mistakes than we do when we're single.
Say it loud for the people in the back.
When we single, I'm just keep y'all men know I don't take no sides. I'm that's why I'm on that, not Kevin Samuel, but I'm gonna give you ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say sometimes about us men. I'm just gonna keep a buck with you. We do some stupid stuff when we single. But when we settle down and we have, that person that's helping us to be better, we become better 100%.
Right.
But that goes along with your choices too.
Right.
You have legal benefits. If you just a girlfriend and your man get an accident, you might can't tell the doctors that he doesn't want to be resuscitated anymore because you're not his wife. You may not even be in a room with him or even go visit him because you're not his wife. You're not next of kin. So there's a lot of benefits. There's drawbacks and benefits to everything we go through. I just feel that marriage is something that in society has lost respect for because society in itself has become more selfish. And selfish is the thing you really can't bring into a successful marriage.
Right.
The vulnerability has to be there. You have to strip yourself down to be married. And a lot of people want to stay clothed and not be naked to their partner. And that's why it doesn't work for them.
I agree. And I'm so glad that you gave a lot of great nuggets. You gave the benefits, you gave the pros and the cons of marriage. And just to add my 2 cents in, I wanna share why did I get married. And it was for all the wrong damn reasons. And I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. And I am now, I'm divorced. But I'll say that to say this. Marriage isn't for everybody. And sometimes I actually come from a family that believes in marriage. When I say believe in marriage, it means that we can take our upcoming and our upbringing and feel that we really truly know what that means and don't have a clue in the world of what that means and try to duplicate it and it don't work. And that's the kind of family I come from, a family where everybody you're supposed to be married and it's to death do us part. Everyone that's my grandmother's children, my grandmother, my great grandmother lived till she was 104 years old. She never remarried. Her husband name was Dakota. He passed away and she never married outside of that man. My grandmother, everybody has the same belief when it comes to marriage. You should be married. And my uncles, my aunts, they're married to the same person that they were dating in high school. And they have the same children by the same people. So it's tradition in my family. So I took that before I got married, I took that to say, and I swear it went just like this. To my ex-husband, that's not my ex-husband, I told him, I was like, we need to get married. Because at the time we were shacking, and I was like, I'm not no longer going to actually do this with you, and we need to be married. He didn't give me no fight. He didn't give me nothing. He said, okay. And we went and got married. And I said to myself, I'm like, damn girl, I'm like, you cute, but you ain't Like he didn't give no pushback. Like what men usually give pushback in those situations, but he did it. He just went along with what I said, and we actually went and got married like that next day. Um, and we had a wedding later. But I say that to say I just felt like that was what I was supposed to do. We were not compatible. We were not lifetime partners. We didn't have a lot in common. And I just felt like since, we were together at that moment and we were trying to build whatever it was, my mindset was we supposed to do this in marriage and we learned that stuff later. Wrong thing to do. That was so wrong. And
Right.
I now have learned from that mistake and nothing negative to him, but he was just not my soul. He wasn't for me. I was not for him. And I took that mindset from what I grew up, how I grew up, and I tried to apply that. So, ladies, if you are in a situation and it's traditional for your family to be married, I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be married, but you gotta really know what it is that you're marrying into. Like
Mhm.
you don't have to actually give all the way in and just marry that person because you're dating and you're together. You really got to you need to find out if that is that person. And if not, you don't have to do all those things that is making you pressure or push forces to marry. Because yeah, I did that all the way wrong. And I'm so glad
Exactly.
I learned from that.
You're not marrying. You're not marrying a person. You're not marrying tradition. You're marrying a person.
Yes.
You know what I'm
And
saying? You're not
every
marrying
situation is
tradition. You're
different.
marrying a live person that, you know what I'm saying, your decisions every day, no matter how minuscule they may be, affects that person directly every time. You take out a credit card, you take out loans that they don't, that, you know what I'm saying, that you haven't really briefed them about. That's taking them along with you too. You making purchases without talking to them. You know you got a bad spending habit. That's affecting that person too. It's not just like I said, people don't want to be naked no more. They want to be fully clothed in a marriage, and you can't be that. You have to be stripped down, vulnerable. Don't get married because y'all mess around and got a baby. You know, you got a girl pregnant. Y'all been here a month. You slip around and got pregnant. You don't even know nothing about that woman, and she knows nothing about you to want to get married because that attachment to that kid is not enough.
It's not.
It's not enough that you're like glue together. That's not enough because what y'all are now is going to change because y'all are going to change. But will your changes complement each other, or will y'all changes make y'all unrecognizable to each other? And that's the thing. You're going to change. I love that I love how you said that, and you took ownership that it was a bad idea.
Yes.
I love that because some people wouldn't do that. They're like, well, in my family, yeah, in your family, they do push you to get married. Because that's the thing. Like, if you come from a family that's go to church religiously, you can
Yes.
bet your bottom dollar you ain't shacking up without hearing about it. At all the family functions, you're going to hear about it. Or if you've been dating for 10, 5, 15 years, and they're like, well, he ain't married you yet. What's going on with that? Y'all been together 15 years? Because maybe that's what's worked for y'all. Because maybe it's better because you don't want to because once you sign that legal contract, you can't get mad and walk away without it costing you some money now.
Absolutely.
And now
Absolutely.
y'all legally binding. It's not even about love no more. Now you got to tiptoe around these laws that
Mm-hmm.
you are abide by, which kind of going to segue into our last topic that Kesha going to break into. This is a perfect segue into that.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. I see love in the house. Arthur, Claude, Lonnie, Joseph. We're gonna have to definitely invite him on. He is like the Dr. Love of he talks about a lot of different relationship things as well. So thank you for joining in with us, my brother.
Love
And we are running out of time, but I do want to touch on this really quick. We're not gonna get into it, but we're going to save it for next week when we have Malcolm J on as well because again,
it.
he's on for single and ready to mingle. So if you guys are on here and you are single and you're ready to mingle, you need to be hitting up myself and Dr. Real so we can go ahead and get you on the show, baby, because we trying to see what's going on out here in those streets. But I want to say this, and then Dr. Real is going to give us what he always gives to us, before we dismiss and we chunk y'all to deuces and we're out. We're going to touch on next week of after divorce, since we're talking about marriage. After divorce, if you were in a situation where the spouse did not work and contribute financially into the relationship, do you feel that that person is deserving of half of your assets or your finances? Like, do that person deserve any of that when they chose? I want to be specific because I know sometimes we talk about certain things and we're not specific because sometimes people can't work, right? They have a disability, but we're going to put this in the aspect of a person choosing not to work. Do you feel that you're entitled to enter those things? So keep that in mind. And I'm hoping y'all join in with us next week so we can pick back up on that topic. But that's what we'll be talking about. Since we talked about marriage, we're going to talk about divorce. So I hope you guys are rocking with us next week to tune in to that. So Dr. Real, what are you going to leave us with tonight?
We got 2 quotes for you.
Okay.
Don't tell me lies to make yourself comfortable. Ooh. Tell the truth and allow me to deal with it. Don't make decisions for me by lying. Here's what you're doing. You're not giving me an option to make any decision for myself because you're already lying to me. So you're making a decision for me without me even having any input. And lastly, people treat life like a spades game. Mm-hmm. Too many people put too much faith in their possibles and end up set. So just because you got that little jack out there floating, you need to learn how to count them cards and know when it's your time to put it down. You can't put all your faith in your possibles. You got to move with what you know for sure is going to work. And I'm not saying defer your dream or not pursue your passion. That's not what I'm saying. Please don't get that from that. But you got to understand you can't put so much faith in your possibles when you got something guaranteed and granted right in front of you, like them checks that just hit your bank account to wrap it all up. There you go.
Hello, somebody. So y'all already know. Y'all know Dr. Real gonna always leave us with the real. He is not playing with us. Y'all know this though. But man, we are out of time as usual. We just want to say thank y'all so much for rocking with us. We are here every Wednesday night between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. Don't forget to also tune in to our other shows. We have the Mamapreneur podcast that is hosted by Robin. She's here every second and fourth Thursday of the month. We also have Credit Repair by Demetria. She's here every first Thursday of the month. And we have Buying and Selling with Bree. So all this money floating around and y'all trying to get that credit right and y'all trying to get these houses, we already got the platform set up for you. You just got to tune in. Bree is on every Monday night between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. Not every Monday, I'm sorry, every fourth Monday between the hours of 8 and 9 p.m. And she's giving you all the tips and all the details on purchasing a home. Y'all know how we leave out. We ain't got to go home, but we definitely got to get the hell up out of here. You want to give any shout outs before we leave tonight, Dr.
Just
Real?
real quick for my ladies and gentlemen, you see the shirt I'm wearing right here. It says
I see it. I love it. I was like, I see you.
If you love your FUPA, you want to share your FUPA, come holler at your boy and get this shirt. Because what FUPA stands for us real men, is for you pleasure awaits. Get up on that thing, lift it up, and handle your business.
I know
Don't be ashamed, girl. If you got a FUPA, it's all right, because there's a lot of men that love the FUPA. Trust and believe.
I'm loving it.
What lies beneath.
I'm loving the colors and all. I was just like, let me go ahead and zoom in on Dr. Real tonight because he is rocking the shirt already. This has been a great show, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in and rocking with us. We had a great time and we hope to see y'all next week. So don't forget to tune in next week. Y'all have a great night and y'all
tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend and bring y'all ass.
Tell a friend. Y'all have a great night. Peace.